The Narcotic Control Board says it has discovered abuse of substances beyond tramadol and other known drugs. Officials in the Ashanti region cite the inhalation of glue, insecticides and other chemicals as new worrying trends. Friends Appear has been investigating the trends and reports.
Cars like petrol, insecticides, Tipex, or we call it correcting fluid, the flames coming out of pit latrines, and glue, yes. You know, the scent of it is also very strong. People have started abusing them. Those are some of the new trends that we have started recording, which are very worrying.
That is the voice of the regional NACOB boss with such a revelation. So we decided to investigate and understand the extent of the situation. Here is one of the communities we are told are hideouts for youth who abuse some of these substances. I meet Kofi and Akwesi, both obvious testimonies of the weird abuse.
Super glue, there is some way, and down where such as an otter and also a daisy, but I'm more this metric India, metric selection in India. I am to be a manum sang as well.
So, what is his motivation?
Yeah, drivers meet in the Menoma. Intimidate Jumapa as an Missia, a rushing passengers, no, one, Basana, white and then rushing passengers, now, Mako Junior, one, Mako Ju be back and in a bag, no other for Cano, as you meeting go and wire door, that feel free to me.
So we find out how tedious his work is. For Kofi, however, his immunity to these challenges goes high when he is on glue.
Selection the Tony Amonona Ubius Kakla, and the Opesotria Ubius Kakan, Atria Kumua, the while a seer was a catastrophe, what you are make a class. There's a own never real. Sir, then the older number. Do you have since that was our train?
Akwesi's experience is different.
So I shall not dear. We can't nanti ne be jaw. Tizamama for no man with a sonny man on Mukoichiman. Omne chuchum be me who say, Una me viano so cra, unto say we a day. Ebo. Tenedia, Unyatria, Sardine the Kutana, so cotton, unfound near Nanzo streets.
It is obvious that the abuse of these substances are assuming worrying levels.
The selection in the intimate mount Nafacon and no beja, and anti, baby, I want to be drew crown. Wounds were drew. Who couldn't pay so on fellow beer. But Tramona de Unyanum pe Namo Queen Pebby say, why slow? Utnasi as no buku maso chese wadano.
So, where nebi, Nase, what was sent on Museum?
I said the Malaria Achono. That's how will be the devil.
I have come to this shop close to one of the communities where glue abuse is prevalent. The owner confirms demand for and patronage of glue has gone up in recent times.
Your sizes, you can see a medium name, million. I get one now or Momuntato. Get one at least best 7 and not 10 days. You get to apply 4 cities and I can say I got 6 cities. Aha omoto so let's in the omoto buy minim so the omoto koye some talk china some talk.
Head of Herbal and Food Supplement at the Food and Drugs Authority, Emmanuel Yao Kwating, explains the authority has no mandate to regulate the use of such substances.
Glue no nya dia FDA you can say you regulate and can you name ho na mmom ya nya te se ha nipa adwene de ye betimi abo ho dawuru but say yentimi yen hihye pin fa gulu ho fi say enye nema FDA ye regulate.
Regional Deputy Unit Commander of Narcotics Controls Board, NACOB, Ishak Bakuri, says it will require legislation to empower the board to step in.
In the case of substances like that, it becomes very difficult for Narcotics Control Board to control. But I would have wished that some provision should be made in that law that will empower Narcotics Control Board to also enforce the abuse of these drugs that we're talking about.
So until the states take the bull by the horn and help address these challenges, the country will continue losing the youth to these substances. My name is Prince Apia, reporting from Kumasi.
We definitely need to have a conversation on this. We've been joined by Ashanti Regional Commander of the Narcotics Control Board, Francis Amoah. Thank you so much for your time, sir.
You're welcome.
Hello, Mr. Amoah.
Hello.
Hi, great to have you here. Now let's start off with the effects of using some of these substances. Are there any identified ones?
Yes, thank you. Thank you for the opportunity. I believe that as I said initially, I could not listen to the full thing, but I know that we're talking about other substances that people, especially the young ones, are using in the Ashanti region. One thing that we know is that it might not have a direct effect as in health effect. The reason why I'm saying that is that I haven't spoken to doctors directly about it, and I do not have that knowledge whether if they use those substances, it gives them any medical effect. Okay. But what I know is that when they use those substances, they get that sense and the spirit of the feeling of high. And for them, that is what matters to them. At the end of the day, if they're able to get that feeling that they want, that high feeling that they think that once they get there, for them, that is the end of the world. That is what they will wish for, and that is what they would always want to be. Is a state that they will always want to be in, because according to them, if they are getting off that feeling, it comes with a lot of difficulty. It comes with a lot of problems for them, and therefore, for them, they would wish that every now and then they are always at that point high, so that they can feel good about themselves.
In trying to understand this very well, Mr. Amoah, have you identified, for example, similarities in areas where young people are practicing this new trend of substance abuse?
Yes, we know in Kumasi there are certain areas that are noted for some of these things. It's not only the use of these substances, but other ban or hard drugs. We know certain areas in Krofrom that they call Columbia. We know Tinker Island. We also know of the Asafo, the Gata area. And there are other places that are not noted. But when you see a lot of young people around, then it is possible that they could develop that area and start using it. But these are some areas that through our works and through our research, we've known that these areas are noted for some of these things that they do.
Do they, for example, these areas you mentioned, have high prevalence in poverty or any other thing that may predispose the young people there to these kind of substance abuse?
It's possible. It's possible that those areas, as compared to certain areas in Kumasi, you will say that those areas that I mentioned are less developed as compared to other areas in Kumasi, or yes, in Kumasi. So one can say that though we cannot conclude that whether it's due to poverty. But like I said, when you look at the standard of living in those areas as compared to the other parts of Kumasi, then one can say that, yes, there is a level of poverty in that area that one would say that it encourages some of these things.
Does the surge in the use of these products have anything to do with the fight against tramadol abuse?
Dennis, come back again. I didn't get your question.
I'm asking if the surge in the use of these products has anything to do with the fight against tramadol.
Yeah, I would say so. I would say so because the thing is that, you know, every now and then these young people, they are trying, they are experimenting, they are devising means that they can get their high, as I alluded to earlier. So at the end of the day, they would look at what would give them high. So if the tramadol, which we've waged a strong campaign against, which Joy FM did, which the Narcotics Control Board, the Food and Drugs Authority, and other people came together and they did against it, which has gone down. The sale and the usage has gone down a bit. They are now looking for other things. They are now looking for other products or other substances that they think that if they use it, it can give them the high.
Mr. Moa, finally, these substances are not hard or banned drugs, and so the issue of crime doesn't play here. So how do we hope to tackle this menace? Briefly and finally, sir.
Yeah, that's the point that I was driving at, because even with the use of the tramadol that the boys were using, once you do not go above the stipulated, the 100 milligram or the 50, you're within the law. And in the same vein with these substances, when they are using it, a policeman cannot go there and say that you're using this substance and I'm going to arrest you. They are not committing any crime. But what we are saying is that it could be a gateway substances that people are using that can lead them in committing certain crimes. Because if you're high, you're not of your senses, if you can't think right, then obviously you can do certain things that ordinarily you wouldn't do it. So we're saying that even though they're not committing any crime, if we do not wage a war against it, if we do not talk about it so that they will know that that can lead them in doing certain things in the society, then we will leave it and we'll get to a point that even though it's not banned, but they're using it as a gateway to commit certain crimes. So there's a need for us to wage that war, advise them and talk to them and let them know that it is not good. Even though it's not against the law, it can harm them and it can harm the society in which they live.
Thank you very much for your time this morning. Francis Amoah is Ashanti Regional Commander of NACOB. He's been sharing his thoughts with us on this trend that we've reported on.